Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Hopefully, you can hear me. Hopefully, I'm on. And blah, blah, blah. So, today is a fun day. A lot of things going on. It's a Thursday. Kind of feels like a Friday. I don't know if any of you fine folks have days like that where you feel like it's the wrong day or the day ahead or a day behind. Hold on, let me adjust this kerchief. Christ's sakes. God damn it all. Jesus H. Fuck. I don't love PC gaming. I'm always getting these notifications of things that I don't care about. Like I said, hopefully you're seeing me and you're hearing me. There's no way for me to test the audio now that I'm live. The machine here doesn't give me an opportunity to test the audio, but let's just take it on the surface that this is all working. Now I'm looking for my scissors, of course. Uh, Scissors are not within range. I'm going to get my scissors. Hold on a moment. This is very exciting. We do have some nice packages here, but I need my scissors for God's sakes. Everything's such a pain in the ass today. Everything is such a pain in my body. Ugh. Now, as you may or may not know, a lot of times I do order things from Facebook, from Amazon, uh, eBay. Actually, I don't order anything from Facebook because I'm off Facebook. So if you're looking for Mike Messier, I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube is one Mike Messier, and this is one Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel. Now, here is a package all the way from Chicopee, Massachusetts. This is dated, get this, folks, October 11th, 2022. Now, today is, I believe, May 29th, 2025. So this is essentially 2.5 years old. Now you're saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, why didn't you open your package 2.5 years ago or a year and a half ago? Sometimes the purchasing is more fun than the opening. And a lot of times what happens with me is I'll purchase something. Hello, Scorpions fan. Hello, AJ. A lot of times I purchase something. Can you hear me, buddy? Let me know if you can hear me, AJ. A lot of times I purchase something and I don't know. I don't know. I always want to open things when I'm in a bad mood, when I'm moody, when I'm depressed, when I'm angry. I want to have these gifts to myself at the ready. And then sometimes I just get over it. Sometimes when I would be in a bad mood or whatever, I just find a way out of my little stupor. Uh, AJ is commenting, he's so glad Trump lost tariff wars so Amazon and other countries will not be affected. I hear you, buddy. I've been kind of concentrating on my own life, my artwork. I'm in the middle of a situation right now with my life, so I really can't pay attention to world events, but thanks for letting me know what's going on in the world. Okay, here we go. I know you like the sound, so I'm going to be quiet. I know you like that sound. I'm reaching in. I'm feeling it. It feels like it might be some type of action figure. Okay, what do we have here, folks? Oh, look at this. I know exactly what this is. I'm pretty sure I do. I'm being gentle. And there's a reason why I ordered this. And I guess, I'm in a situation now, folks, where I'm kind of downsizing, but I'm kind of getting rid of things from my own history, my own childhood. But yet I'm also realizing that I've ordered a lot of this stuff from other people's lives. I'm going to give you the sound of the cutting. I know you like that sound. I like it too. It's the sound of gifts. the bubble wrap. Oop, I dropped my scissors. One thing, as you know or you don't know, I order a lot of stuff from Temu, and I find that Temu scissors are actually quite good. Temu is just, you have to know what to order. Canvases for art. Actually, some acrylic markers in there are good. Look at this, AJ and Associates. Do you see what that is? That's a Larry Zbyszko action figure. Ooh, he's very stiff, meaning that his articulation, his body parts are actually in really nice shape. I'm not even going to show you as an example, but this action figure is from, it says 1980. I think it actually says 1984, although I think they weren't released until 85. That's Larry Zbyszko, folks. If you don't know, Larry Zbyszko, two-time AWA World Heavyweight Champion. It's actually a pretty good likeness of him. Very good, actually. For the figure, you know, it's a soft base. It's kind of the same He-Man type of, you know, body design. A lot of Larry never had abs like that. Sorry, Larry. The reason why this means something to me, in case you're wondering, is that Larry Zbyszko and I are born on the same day. December 5th is actually the birthday of myself and Larry Zbyszko, different years. But Larry was inducted into the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, I think back in 2010. And who inducted him? I did, okay? So my friend Joe Bruin, I volunteered to do that. There was somebody else booked to do it when I volunteered, and then that person, whoever it was, fell through. So I came through. Okay, this is a package from Joseph from Slatington, Pennsylvania. This is dated October 11th, 2022. And this is actually sent to my previous address. So I've actually had this since October of 2022. Once again, this is May of 2025. 2.5 years, folks. I have not opened this package. It might be, this is probably going against the grain, or maybe not. I mean, maybe some of you folks are like this. You order stuff online, you don't open it, and then it just kind of sits there. Let's listen to the cut. All right. It feels like another action figure of some sort. I can't remember who this is. It does feel like a 6-inch or even a 5.5. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, I guess this is a Ric Flair AWA action figure, but I could be totally wrong. Oh, this is nice too, guys. Do you know who that is? So this is, I don't think this is it could be a variant. Trying to get more light for you fine folks. Do you see who that is, AJ? Do you see that, guys? That is Curt Hennig. I always say Hennig with an N thrown before the G. A lot of people don't. I can feel that this Curt Hennig, and also the black pants is really not like Curt Hennig. I don't remember him ever wearing long boys, as CM Punk would say. But that is Curt Hennig. Curt, it kind of looks like Curt. It more looks like Jason Hervey from the Wonder Years, to be honest with you. Who I've actually met Jason Hervey at the Wonder Years. I met him in a wrestling show. He had a very pretty girlfriend with him. I'll give him that much. I guess that's the spoils of war, the spoils of being on the Wonder Years. And I remember that Jason Hervey and I had a debate about Terry Funk. And it's been said that Jason Hervey is actually the godson of the late, great Terry Funk. I don't know that to be true, but I know that Jason Hervey was an adamant Terry Funk fan when I met him, and that's quite good. So there you go. Okay. Let's see what happens next, gentlemen. Oh, let me tell you. Oh, the date on this one. Once again, to my former address. Hello, AJ. Mike, you know Vince Russo. Why does he hate WWE so much? He made live short video. WWE is worst show ever in the world. Well, I have. Okay, I'll take a little break. Vince Russo and I have been friendly. I called into his show going back to 2018. He had me on the next night. He brought me in as a special guest to his podcast. Bucket Full of Chicken Necks. I believe that's available on Vimeo or somewhere on YouTube. But Mike Messier was a guest on the Vince Russo show. And I like Vince. Now, why does he hate WWE so much? Good question. I know that when I started really watching Vince Russo's podcast 2018, he had a lot to be hating on, because if you remember, those were the days where the WWE creatively was kind of a mess. You had some things like the Bray Wyatt Funhouse was really good, but there was a lot of things that were really bad. I mean, I remember even they were doing 2 out of 3 falls matches at one point, and I tapped out. I stopped watching, and I was leading something called #Raw Protest. They had just started with the shows in Saudi Arabia, the Crown Jewel, the Greatest Royal Rumble. There was a lot of controversy about that. A lot of guys like EC3, if you remember, was not being used properly. John Moxley was still hanging around, or Dean Ambrose at the time, and he was on his way out. And as far as the championship scene, I think it was the Brock Lesnar show, but Brock wasn't wrestling a whole lot. So when I was watching Vince Russo at the time, 2018, he did have a lot to complain about. Now, I'll give you full honesty and integrity, AJ. I do still subscribe to the Vince Russo YouTube channel. I really don't watch it a whole lot, basically because of what you're saying, which is Vince Russo tends to complain, and he tends to, eradicate WWE quite a bit. I'm at a point where I'm comfortable just not watching, except for the premium live events. I'll watch WWE, and I have been watching more of Raw lately because I have Netflix. I did not watch this most recent Raw, but I do kind of. I had a streak where I watched 4 or 5 Raws in a row, usually on tape delay. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. If you start watching Raw about 45 minutes, or even 2 hours into the show, you can basically watch Raw on Netflix on Monday nights. Start the show late. You can pretty much watch it without commercials, because there's a glitch in the armor. But I don't think, I mean, I pay the $6.99 a month, the basic Netflix fee. And when I watch Raw with a little bit of a tape delay that I put in there for myself, I can start the show from the beginning and see it without commercials. And I don't even have to fast forward for the most part. So my point is, I think Vince Russo, and I believe it was called the Brand at the time, AJ, if they're still using that handle. But some good guys over there. I mean, the guy that does a lot of, at least at the time, 4 or 5 years ago, he wore the hat forward, the baseball cap. He's a really good guy. And a lot of those people at the Brand are cool guys. The guy that kind of does the Sheik gimmick, he was really a nice guy. And some smart guys, Disco Inferno and Conan, were at various times associated with the Vince Russo podcast army. There was some, speculation, or some of the people thought I should be part of that show or part of that network, and it never happened. But the point is, I still really like Vince Russo. I respect him, but it does get a little tiresome to listen to people complain about WWE all the time. My solution for you, for me, for everybody is limit your intake. Just don't watch as much, and I find that I complain less about WWE because I watch less of it. And when I tune in for the NXT house show events, I went to one 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had a good time. I don't watch the NXT weekly show. I find it to be too much skit work, too much of the NXT people trying to be Saturday Night Live. I did watch the end of the Saturday Night Live season. That show is not good. AJ's got another comment. I know I'm kind of rambling here, getting away from the envelopes. Mike, TNA got good because WWE and NXT first history. Trick Williams, WWE guy, wins TNA championship from Joe Henry. Vince would not allow that partnership. This is good stuff. And I believe you, buddy. I really do believe you. Excuse me. I believe you, AJ, that it's good stuff. But once again, I can't say that I've been watching it because I haven't. So I will have to take your word on it. I do know that when Trick Williams comes out to the NXT house shows, he gets huge pops. People are chanting "Whoop that trick." I don't know if there's a lot of families who go to these NXT shows, and I wonder. God damn it, Jesus H. I wonder if these families that are chanting "Whoop that trick," do they realize that they're basically cheering on this wrestler to beat up a prostitute? I mean, the Hustle and Flow movie with Terrence, what's the gentleman's name? Terrence Howard, 10 or 15 years ago. That lyric or that expression, "Whoop that trick," came directly from the film. A nice film too, a good film, Hustle and Flow. Not a nice film, but a good, entertaining film about a pimp or a drug guy trying to get into the rap world called Hustle and Flow, and the chorus of his big song was "Whoop that trick." And so when people are cheering for Trick Williams, and I see these families with their small children standing and screaming "Whoop that trick," do they realize that they're basically cheering for a man to beat up a prostitute? I don't know. I mean, it seems beyond people to realize that. A lot of people just go with the flow. They just do as they told. They take their spooning, and I don't think they sit and realize what they're teaching their children. But who am I to judge? You know what I mean? Who am I to judge these people? But I do. In any regard, AJ, I do trust what you're saying. Joe Henry, by the way, I thought he had a nice appearance at WrestleMania this past year. A month and a half or 2 months ago. I'm not really a big Joe Henry guy. I don't quite get the humor. I think that when he does his little pose and his little twist and his pose, I think that's very funny. But I haven't sat there and watched the Best of Joe Henry DVD box set, if there is one. I don't know too much about this guy. I believe is he English or Australian, one of those countries that we're friends with. But I don't really know too much about Joe Henry other than what I've seen, which is not much. So Trick Williams, TNA champion. I know that they also fired. I think this girl's pretty good. Who's that girl that's the TNA champion or woman now? Who's that lady, buddy? Um, Indy Blackwell or Love Heart or Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell. I like her but I guess she's the TNA Women's Champion. It does feel like WWE is kind of semi-acquiring TNA. Mikey, you go to movies. I want to bring this up for a long time. Rotten Tomatoes. Do you think it's a reliable source on rating movies? That's a good question, buddy. And here's my answer. I mean, is it a reliable source? I mean, God fucking damn it. I don't know. Jesus H. God in heaven. I feel like I need to gargle. Okay. That's part of my routine. I almost cut my wire, guys. Look at that. I almost trimmed it. As far as, I don't know, man. I think movies are so subjective. You really have to go to a movie to decide if you like it. There's a lot of movies that get low ratings on Rotten Tomatoes or any type of critics. I mean, there used to be these two guys, Siskel and Ebert. They were a lot of fun. They were kind of affectionately known as the fat guy and the bald guy. But if you look up the old Siskel and Ebert reviews on YouTube to all types of movies from the 70s through the 90s and 2000s, they were great critics. They actually put a lot of thought into it. I think the problem for me is when people see a movie on opening weekend, a part of the fun of, the Marvel movies or this weekend, it's this Legends Karate Kid movie. A lot of the best part of seeing that type of big box office movie, especially if you go to IMAX or Dolby Digital Auditorium, is just being one of the first people to see it and not having this preconceived notion of the film. I think when you see a movie and your opinion has been tainted by critics and reviews, then you're more likely than not going to dislike the movie. I don't think it works the other way around. I don't think if a movie is getting a lot of great reviews and you go see it, that you're going to like the movie anymore because the movie got all these great reviews. In fact, your natural inclination, if you're kind of a cynical person like me, buddy, is you're going to be looking like, well, this movie is not as good as all these people were saying. But if you go to a movie and you hear all this negative stuff before you go see the movie, you might be thinking, this movie is going to stink. Why am I seeing this? I'll give you a couple of examples. When Snow White came out 5 or 6 months ago, the one with what's her name, Renee or Risa, whatever her name is, a lot of people were crapping on the movie because of the whole things with the dwarves. And my opinion was, I'm going to go see the movie. I saw it in 4DX, meaning that the seat shook. There was a smoke machine in the movie theater. There was a smell machine, raindrops. I enjoyed the experience. Now, I did see a lot of flaws in the Snow White movie. There was some things that creatively didn't make sense, some things storyline wise that didn't make sense. And I did see, once I saw the movie, but I still enjoyed it. And part of that was because of the 4DX stuff, the bells and whistles. But when I started reading reviews after the movie, I started to think, well, geez, what was I crazy? Was this movie that bad? So my point is, buddy, is Rotten Tomatoes reliable? I don't know. I mean, I really try to avoid these days, buddy. I'll tell you another thing. I try to avoid trailers before I even see a movie. And typically, I time my attendance to a theater. I time myself getting into the theater or the theater itself right when the movie time is starting. And then I take my time getting a refreshment, using the facilities, whatever I have to do, because I don't really want to see the teasers anymore. I don't want to see the trailers. I used to be a guy who wanted to see all the previews all the time. And now I don't, because I feel that it's just too long of an experience. I feel like I'm wasting my time if I watch all these trailers. I don't know if I'm giving you a straight answer or not, buddy. I guess the point is, I'm not a big guy I like to avoid other people's criticisms. I do that with sports now, especially wrestling or UFC. If I tape delay something, which is normally my thing with sports, not all sports, but some sports, I don't want to. With UFC, I can pull this off because a lot of people don't spoil UFC in the mainstream, but I will watch stuff on tape delay, and I try to avoid X or other forms of social media so I don't get spoiled. Let's open this next envelope. I think I've got two more. Very exciting, gentlemen. Ooh, it's an envelope within an envelope. Very exciting. That one, once again, was from New York, a gentleman, Don Molino, and that was sent October 13th, 2022. This feels like, I do feel like it feels like another action figure. So I guess I was really buying action figures and then just leaving these poor figures in their bags. AJ has another comment about Karate Kid. I'll get to that in a minute. If anyone else has comments, you're welcome to tune in. You might have to go to YouTube in case you're watching me on some other platform. Okay, so this looks like an AWA, maybe Stan Lane. Dude, I called it. You know why? Because I remembered that the Fabulous Ones had these holes, and this is Sweet Stan. So he was in the Midnight Express with Beautiful Bobby, like the second version of the Jim Cornette Experience Midnight Express. There was other versions with Norville Austin and so forth, and Dennis Condrey. That's a really nice Stan Lane. Some of these guys have got a bit of scruff on them. And that's fine. I mean, this is from 1985, so that's older than most of us here. But 15, that's a 40-year-old action figure, gentlemen. So, I mean, that's pretty historic at this point. But Stan looks pretty good. I mean, Stan, I got to say that these AWA figures, this was not done with high-tech stuff. But, I mean, I think some of these guys came out pretty good. And some of these guys, especially guys that had soft features like Larry Zbyszko and Stan Lane, I think they did a nice job. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So let's see what Mr. AJ says. Karate Kid, I love all three, but remake didn't bother. Didn't like Will Smith's son, but new one looks good because Ralph Macchio back in charge of it, and this looks like the fourth movie. Will you see it? I might see it tonight, buddy, but I did lock in to another movie ticket. Midnight Woman, it's called. I think it's a Indian film, like really from the country of India. And why did I do this? Because on Dolby Digital, is which the Karate Kid movie is playing. It's not playing until 9:15. I did the math, and I get a late night surge of energy, but I find that if I see a movie at the 9 o'clock hour, by the time I get out of there, it's midnight, and then my energy is sapped. But if I see a movie in the 7 o'clock hour, which basically ends at 9 or 9:30, then I have like a gust of energy. And I really need my energy these days to do stuff It's so hot during the day that my energy is surging at night, and I don't want to basically lose all my energy because I need that late night shift of energy because that's when I really come alive. So the point is, I will see the Karate Kid movie most likely this weekend, if not early next week. I'll do a nice review on it. I am excited because, here's the other thing. And I was going to say, to be honest, but I'm trying not to say that expression anymore as much as possible because I don't like it. It's just filler. It's just, it's like when the kids say literally all the time. To be honest is another waste of words. Tomorrow I will see Mission Impossible. Well, I don't want to shit on your parade here, buddy, because that's a movie I'm actually avoiding, and I'll tell you why. I've never liked the Mission Impossible movies. I think I've seen them all in the theater, and I don't like them. And I go, maybe the first one was okay. I mean, that was 30 years ago. But I find that when I see these Mission Impossible movies, they are over bloated. There's going to be a lot of attractive women. It's kind of like Tom Cruise does this celibate James Bond. It's like he's the guy in Mission Impossible, whatever the character name is. He's a cool dude. He's fighting crime and drug lords and all this good shit, but he doesn't have sex with the women. And he basically is just this guy running around doing stuff. And I can't really get into it. I don't find them to be fun. I find them to be just a display of stunts. And the last time I saw the Mission Impossible movie, maybe 2 or 3 summers ago, buddy, I did a whole rant and review somewhere on this channel or on one Mike Messier where I basically said this was a movie that had a lot of the line, "Are you okay?" And I've been saying this for several reviews. If you go to movies these days, and this TV show is the worst, it's a good show, but it's called Nine Perfect Strangers. They just say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And the last Tom Cruise movie, it was very much like that. I didn't like the last Tom Cruise Mission Impossible 2 or 3 summers ago. I found myself extremely restless and not enjoying it. And like I said, I don't mean to shit on your parade, buddy, because I'm kind of doing what I don't like what other people do, which is they, affect your own enjoyment. But you tell me if it's going to be good. The other one that I don't plan on seeing because I don't understand it. I don't understand the appeal. I'm probably just too old. But this Lilo and Stitch routine, I don't get it. I've never watched it, so I don't really know what it is, but it looks really annoying. It just looks like a kid type of movie, and I wasn't a child that grew up on these antics of Lilo and Stitch, Lilo and Stitch. I don't understand it. They look like, I don't know, it looks like a rat and a doll or whatever the hell it is. But from what I understand, that's not been getting good reviews. Here's another one, buddy, which I do think I want to see the first movie because I don't think I ever saw 28 Days or 28 Days Later. I got confused when that movie came out because there was a Sandra Bullock movie with that same type of title and about a woman going to a recovery program. And I don't think I ever saw any of the 28 Days movie. I don't think I saw it, the first one. So maybe I'll see it now. And I did do that with The Accountant. I saw the original Accountant. I watched it on Amazon Prime, which was part of the normal subscription because I wanted to see Accountant 2. I do find Ben Affleck to be very good. There is some jealousy involved, to be quite honest. As you know, I'm a wonderful filmmaker. I've never had the benefit of a budget like Ben Affleck or J-Lo riding my cock like Ben Affleck has, but I do enjoy Ben Affleck movies, and so I wanted to watch the first Accountant in prep to see the second one, and I enjoyed them both. Mike, 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later were great. Next month is third. I didn't even know there was a third, buddy, so I guess I'll have to go back and watch 2 of these movies now. Thanks. I like Danny Boyle. He's different kind of horror director. Okay, so you've just experted me into oblivion. I can't say that I know what movies Danny Boyle has made. I didn't know that there were. Thanks for telling me that there's 2 of these 28 movies because now I have to see 2 instead of 1. Okay, gentlemen. This one I'm actually going to save for another time. I know what this is. I've had this since February 25th, 2019, believe it or not. 6 years of this thing. I'm going to put this one away. MikeMessier.com. Thanks for AJ. Other fine folks. If you are watching in tape delay, that's fine. So subscribe to my channel. This channel is actually not monetized, so I'm just doing this for pure sport. Fighter Play Basketball is my book on Amazon and Audible. You can listen to it for free on Hoopla. I'm going to, if I can find the stop button, I'm going to stop right now. But of course, I can't find the stop button. So another thing that's bothering me, where is the goddamn stop button? Here it is, but I went over 30 minutes, which I wasn't trying to do, and now I'm upset. Okay, I'm going to stop the stream and have a wonderful